Hey everyone, this is Aaron. Thanks for listening again to the Unscripted Podcast. You know, when I started this thing, we were doing Zoom. I didn't have a microphone. We didn't have sound equipment. I'd like to think we've gotten better over the years as it has gone along. At least I hope so. But one of the things I wish I could always do is go back. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and I'm going to remaster some of the great guests. We've had so many guests. We're coming up on 300 episodes. I've had so many great guests. And I just want to go back and remaster and redo some of those interviews to the level that those guests deserve. Honestly, they all deserve it. I'm just going to pick a handful. And so this is Aaron's version, unscripted.
Hey everyone, this is Caitlin again. Welcome to the Aaron Unscripted Podcast with my Uncle Aaron. Unscripted comes to you each episode from our Jesus of Hope studios in Columbus, Ohio. For nearly 2 decades, well-respected worship leader Kari Jobe has been using her gifts to lead people into the presence of God. When she began leading worship at only age 13, she never imagined she would be nominated for a Grammy, win multiple Dove Awards, have a RIAA Gold Certified single, or be praised by the New York Times. Originally from Texas and now residing in Nashville, Kari Jobe tours the country with her husband Cody Kearns and their 2 boys, Canyon and Kingston. My favorite song by Kari Jobe is a song called The Blessing, and the part that says, all around you and within you, He is with you, He is with you. It is just a reminder to me that the Lord is always with me wherever I go. So thank you, Kari, for that reminder. We are so honored today once again to share this interview with you. We have remastered it to honor Kari as she deserves. Thank you, Kari, and for now, here's my Uncle Aaron with today's interview.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Unscripted Podcast. And as many of you have seen, my guest needs no introduction. She was originally from Texas. She's now residing in Nashville, and she tours with her husband, Cody Kearns, who my daughters adore, by the way, and her 2 boys, Canyon and Kingston. Did I say that right, Kari?
You did, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Kari, it is a true honor, as I just told you a minute ago. I know we're on a very short window here because you've rearranged some scheduling for me. We're on a 20-minute hard stop. People don't want to hear from me. They want to hear from you. So, Kari, it is a true honor to have you on the Unscripted Podcast. I got one other housekeeping item that I got to do before.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A few years ago, my mom passed away. I'm a mama's boy. And as a mom of boys, you understand this. I'm a mama's boy. And in her final hours, my sister played her favorite songs at the time as she was passing from this world to thank God the next, to heaven. Those favorite songs were your first CD, Kari Jobe. Songs like My Beloved. The final words she heard were yours. And I needed to tell you this, that as she left this world into the next, the final words she heard were My Beloved. And I need to read those words right now. And as I said, you may need to finish these lyrics for me, but our audience watching, listening needs to hear what my mom heard as she left this place and entered the presence of our King, where she so much wanted to be.
You're my beloved, you're my bride. To sing over you is my delight. Come away with me, my love. Under my mercy, come and wait till we are standing face to face. I see no stain on you, my child. You're beautiful to me.
To sing over you is my delight. Come away with me, my love. Kari, I needed to honor my mom today. I needed to honor my dad today, my sister today, and tell you that I know you walked my mom home with your words. Thank you for your words. Okay. We got a lot more to cover. And I don't want to dwell on that, but I wanted you to know right off the jump, Kari, that I'm forever thankful for you, for the way that you put a pen to paper and pen those words, because my mom walked into eternity to those words. I can't think of any other way to honor the mom that I loved. Okay.
That is so sweet. I'm already so emotional today. So this is putting me over. Oh, man. So sweet. Thank you.
I want to get into the blessing because that's what we're here for today. So, but I got to tell you, I have received more texts, tweets, Facebook messages, Instagram, DM, you name it. I have received it. If I was on TikTok, I'd probably receive
I know. It's like you're on a lot of.
Everybody in the world wants me to tell you their story. They all have a Kari Jobe story.
I love that.
I have a friend in Charlotte who's got the words of the blessing over his son's crib. I have one in Utah who has a friend that he's been trying to bring to the Lord. And the friend called him and said, have you heard this song? And it's the blessing. So let's move right into that, Kari. I know we got a short, limited time today. Let's talk about the blessing.
That's good.
How did that come about?
Man, I have had the most fun. Cody and I have had so much fun just watching what God's doing. And we almost sometimes are like, are we really a part of that song? Like God is just so blowing our socks off with watching what people are being impacted, with and all these. I think our favorites are like the countries that have done covers of it. And it's just been so wild. But I think people are gravitating to that song and being really impacted by it because it's just the promises of God, and I think we've all just been really confronted this year with where is our faith for real? Yeah. Like not talking about it or talking about the Lord, but actually it's been confronting of where is my relationship with the Father? When I say I'm going to have faith over fear, you can't just say that. That's going to pass if it's not real, Right. And so I think I saw like the blessing is just helping people change the narrative and change their confessions and change their declarations over their lives and their families. And what a beautiful thing to be able to do,
As a parent of 3 kids, my biggest concern right now is the mental health of our kids because of all this. Yeah. Like even as adults, we're having a hard time wrapping our mind around where we're at in the world. And so to pray that blessing over my kids I think that connects with people so much. And I don't want to move on, but I know, again, we have a short window, so I have so much to get to with you. The next one is yesterday we opened our church for the first time because of COVID. We opened our church live, and I'm telling you, Kari, they did let the light in. That place was, as the kids say today, lit.
It's been it was.
I texted my pastor later and I said, man, I went to a club this morning and a church service broke out. I mean, Kari, there was dancing, singing.
Praise God.
Hands in the air. Open up the windows and let the light in. Like it's time. And that was our pastor's message. It's time to get back together again. And there's something so much in corporate worship that we're missing right now. As a leader, as a worship leader, how much do you miss being with people right now?
Well, we're together. Our church is together as well. Awesome. And I think it's been game-changing, life-changing, pivotal, all those. We've been able to meet together with, mask. You have to mask up when you're getting to your seat and different things that have been, the CDC stuff. So thankfully people feel comfortable and they feel, safe or whatever. But spiritually, oh man, I'm so grateful. We've been open for a few months now. And I think that I would have just started to deteriorate somehow without my Christian community. It's just so powerful to be together. And even if people are still fearful to be in the room, I think just being intentional to do the live stream and not to be like, okay, I'm so tired of the online experience, but it's just a spiritual exchange. It's supernatural, to fill our spirit man with with the worship, with the presence of God. So man, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I was thinking about this driving home today. I didn't realize this. You're like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of worship music, right? I mean, You're the
Cute.
power couple. I mean, when I look at the catalog of what you all have written, and tell your husband, please share this with your husband. Nothing else crushes me. When he says, I'm sorry, wow. Like, as a Christian, I grew up as a Christian my entire life. When I hear somebody say, I'm sorry, and Jesus, you don't owe me anything. What a moment that is for me to sit there and say, you know what? He doesn't owe me anything, and I'm sorry for the way I've handled this. So y'all are power couple. What's it like writing? I mean, what's that like? Would you guys just sit down at the table, and does it just flow from you? How does writing worship music impacts an entire nation and other nations, as you just said? What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, our life at home is like anyone else. And I think that, we have to be really intentional with the atmosphere in our home.
Right.
I think that that's massive for us to be able to, when it is time to write, to, be in that headspace, to be able to lean in quickly,
Yeah.
For us to, we do more of like seasonal writing things. And so we'll be in like a few weeks of writing instead of like writing every week, just because the nature of how we do life with our boys, it just kind of works better that way. So when we wrote The Blessing, we were kind of at the tail end of writing for my album. We were going to Elevation to lead worship, and in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Maybe you like North Carolina. I can't tell.
A little bit.
Oh man. Hey, I don't know what it was. North Carolina was a massive part of my new record. Big things happened in North Carolina for us when I was preparing for my album. There's something really cool about that. But we were just about to lead worship for Elevation. We thought, hey, let's go early and just write and see if anything happens. And so I'm certainly very glad that we did that.
Yeah.
Because The Blessing came out of that experience. So yeah, there's so much that goes into writing. I think one of the biggest parts is just like living a life of worship and purity before the Lord, and, having encounters with the Lord personally before we try to kind of capture that into a lyric or into a song. Bill Johnson said a few years ago that when you write from an encounter you're having with the Lord, that encounter can get locked up in the anointing of that movement or that piece of work or that book or whatever it is. And I believe that, so we're trying to just do that as much as we can. Have encounters with Jesus.
Well, it's incredibly impactful. And I could list so many songs. And for the last week, I've been teasing them on Facebook. My friends are probably a little tired of hearing about me having you on, but I wanted them to know you. And I don't know how you have an Easter service without the song Forever, for example. I don't know how you have an Easter service without the song Forever. And I was listening to it again today, and there's just such a build up to where you just got to get out of your seat and say forever, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Kari, it's just incredible the way that you all have been so blessed and the way that pours into so many other people. So my question for you is, this is going to be a left field question. Again, we're unscripted. If I drop by the Jobe's house and it's time for dinner and you all are making dinner and you got your Google podcast on or whatever, who's playing in the background? Who do you go to for inspiration? Like, who do you listen to for inspiration?
Right. So we'd probably have Bethel music on, or Brandon Lake, or Stephanie Gretzinger. If we're like having worship on, if we're not having worship on, which sometimes we don't, we'd have someone like, we like Coldplay a lot. Cody keeps me cool. I love Coldplay. We'll listen to some old Mute Math stuff. He kind of knows what like the newer stuff is. I like the indie pop type sound, type stuff. So I love Julia Michaels' voice. Like, I love girls that have really rich texture in their voice, because as a singer, I'm always, wanting to learn and grow in my gears. So things like that. Yeah.
Another question that I had for you is, when you recorded this album and you guys pushed out a ton of YouTube videos for each one of the songs, which is a little weird in today's culture, right? Or maybe it's not, because I think Nashville and all the music is changing. I'm not an artist, but I thought it was unique that you all pushed that out. So it's available on YouTube. I don't have to go buy your album. Is that weird in today's culture? What was your decision behind, like, let's make that available to me? Because I know churches are loving it.
Yeah, I felt really strongly that I wanted people to experience the album before they even just listen to it. And I think that's probably the artist side of me that just wants some kind of visual connection. I'm a visual learner too. So I'm always, when I see things visually from an artist, I remember the song. That first impression of that song or that first impression with that movement. I just wanted people to see it and experience it with me and not just listen and think, oh, I wonder what it looked like or wonder what that felt like when they did that, So is it a wise decision, like financially? I don't know. The Lord, it's always like God's got that. And I'd rather people be impacted and get it than to, my team's so amazing. They don't fight me on any of that stuff. They're really sweet. They're like, all right, let's go.
And that's awesome. And there's nothing in what our very short time together that has told me anything other than what we see on video, which is what a mark for me, because we live in a social media world and so many people, you can tweet whatever you want. You can appear to be this person, but then when you meet them, you're like, oh, that's not who you were online. Kari, you're exactly what I believed and thought and hoped you would be. So thank you for that. And let me ask you that, because on the videos, and I know our time is running short, and I want to be so respectful because you were so respectful to come on for me. When you're in, it was different for you, right? Like, first of all, I love the lights and all the videos that came out of that. Incredible. Whoever designed it is amazing, and they did an incredible job.
I agree. Thank you.
So there's no crowd though, right? Because of COVID. So 2 questions for you. Was it different not being in front of that crowd that I imagine brings life or energy for you? And 2, where do you get your energy? How do you find that zone as an artist when you walk out on stage that you're immediately engaged, because it then brings it back? So, I mean, it's almost a bi-directional.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. And that was probably the biggest thing for that album was like, oh man, you, as a worship leader, you're leading people. That's what the role is. And so you usually have people there, but when I knew that I wasn't going to be able to have the people, my conversations with the Lord were very raw. And I just kept saying, like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the Lord was like, I'll be there. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And also my team, in a way, we ended up kind of turning and being in the round. I turned around a lot on the video so that we just said, you know what, we're just going to worship the Lord together. Like as if we were in someone's living room. And we did that during the pre-production. We all faced each other then, and we had some of the most powerful moments in the presence of God together. And that was before we knew we wouldn't be able to lead people in the room. So knowing we had that experience together for a whole week, I was like, you know what? God showed up. It was so sweet. We're just going to do that. And there's going to be a few cameras rolling. But I don't even want you to think about the cameras. We're just going to go. Like, that's why most of the time, if you watch those videos, most of the time my eyes are closed because I'm just thinking about the presence of God. I'm just, it's just kind of like, in a way, it became maybe a bit more sacred than it would have been or something. I don't know. Those are the things where you just see God turning something for our good.
Yeah.
And I can't wait, though, to lead these songs with people and hear them sing them. That will be such a beautiful day. So I look forward to it.
I have to wonder if you miss, not from an egotistical, but from an energy and do you miss the crowds so much?
I just miss, thankfully we have our church, but I just miss connecting with people and ministering, ministering in person. And, there is something beautiful about getting to see someone having the encounter with Jesus. And I live my life doing that. I love it. It's my greatest passion. So yes, I even, I've just been super emotional lately. Like they're talking about maybe a tour coming next year. And I'm like, Jesus, please.
Yeah.
I just pray for favor and that this would shift and we would be able to gather together again in a corporate setting, not just in our churches, but as the body of Christ, the global church, Right. It's really sweet to link arms with like-minded people and just see what God's doing. So yes, I miss that, but I know I'm just holding it in my heart. It's going to happen.
That's right. I think we're all hoping it's going to happen, and for not to steal a line from the blessing, but for our families and our children and honestly their children, right? We got to get through this. And I think that's why, again, the blessing means so much. So And I know our time is just about up. And again, Kari, I'm so appreciative of your time. I can't say it enough. What are all the links? If I want to hear the album, if I want to buy the album, if I want to learn more about you, any of it, where can I find all those things?
Yeah, I mean, just most everything should just be under my name, just Kari Jobe. And or you could just type in the blessing and then take it from there,
Yeah.
Go on a journey.
Incredible. It'll take you right where you need to go, right? It's amazing. Well, Kari, I was driving home again and I was thinking about this and my prayer for you, because it's probably not often that somebody prays that blessing over you and your family and their children and their children. I pray that over you. I'm so thankful for you. And we didn't even get to, there's so many more things we could get to. The healer. I once ran a full marathon, didn't trained for a half, ran the full. Kari, I was finishing on Euclid Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio to the song Healer.
Yeah.
And the words, nothing is impossible with you. My body was depleted. I was done. I was out of everything. And those words hit me so hard to say, nothing is impossible with you. Like, God, we're about to finish this marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my prayer for you. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't know, you don't need me out in Columbus, Ohio to tell you that, but God bless you for all your words. Yeah.
It's so encouraging. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for walking my mom home again.
What an honor.
What an honor. And one day I pray you all can meet, and I can't wait to see her again, knowing that that's how she left this earth. So,
when you were talking about that, I got to sing that song at my grandpa's funeral, and I had just written it. So it was quite a few years ago. But it is a really sweet thing when you think of it in the eternal perspective.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. And it's what an honor. So thank you.
Yeah. And I think it's our prayer for all of us, right? That God looks at us and says, I see no stain on you, my child.
Yeah.
What powerful words. Just like your husband's, I'm sorry. 2 words.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Those hit different. And someday I hope we have a chance to sit down and talk even longer about all those kind of things. But I know your time's short. I know there's so many people that can't wait to see this. So I got to turn this around and get it up online.
Do it.
God bless you, Kari. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Such a blessing. And may God continue to bless the Blessing album and all that you do.
Amen. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Well, thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. Make sure to review and share wherever you listen to your podcast. It really helps out our mission to encourage everyone to live life unscripted. Until next time, keep living life unscripted.